Okay, 254, and I'm in the building with Ethan Muziki. Yo, it's been a long time coming. We've been trying to have Ethan on the show for so long. So many of you guys have been like, yo, bring Ethan Muziki. The girls love Ethan Muziki. Like, wanapenda Ethan Muziki sana. How are you doing today? Uh-huh.
Yeah, most definitely. I'm feeling really great.
So I put out a tweet as I was waiting, and the tweet was, does Kenya have any love songs?
Uh-huh.
What do you think? Because you're Mr. Lover Lover.
I mean,
You are Mr. Lover Lover. So do you think Kenya has any love songs?
definitely. There are so many love songs. I've written quite a number of love songs. We've worked with Otenda Willie on quite a number of love songs, but there are also other artists like Kinoti,
Yes.
love songs. I feel like love is such a universal language.
Uh-huh.
So definitely as musicians, lazima tueni, because we're in the business of emotion.
Yes.
We have to tap into that.
So it's funny you say love is a universal language because before we got on air, we've been playing Love Language, which is a collaboration project between yourself and Watenda Willie.
Yeah.
And so just last week, I think it was in preparation for this moment, I learned about love languages. So before, I didn't know. So
For real?
I didn't, okay, nasikianga tu, unajua unasikianga love languages, nasikianga. So now I actually got to learn about the 5 love languages. So it was as simple as I went on Google, nikasema what love languages. So there's 5 love languages, and I was told to rank them in the scale of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So there's words of affirmation, there's quality time, there's acts of service, there's gifts, and there is physical touch. So I ranked them like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Okay.
So for me, gifts is number 5. It's useless.
Yeah, me too.
I highly rank acts of service and physical touch, and then words of affirmation, not too serious. That's like number 4. So like I didn't know this, and I'm a 28-year-old living life. Like I've gone through. I didn't know 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So now I learned about this. So this project that you guys put together. It's called Love Languages. But it's not 5 songs, and it's not the 5. Because it's Asali, All or Nothing, Unavailable. So, like, explain to us love language in relation to love languages.
Okay. So, ideally...
Because melanin girls, your love language.
So it's actually not like in the titles. It's more like in the content. So, like physical touch, we have Anywhere You Are. So, anywhere you are, love me, touch me, anywhere you are, hug me, whatever,
Yes.
So, in the message, that's where we tackle the different love languages. And so, ideally, a song like Melanin Girls, and it's just affirmation. We love you, All our melanin ladies, we appreciate you, we love you. And, people, some of my friends, or people who, managed to listen to the song who are from different countries or Kenyans in the diaspora, and they're telling me, yo, it feels so good, yani kukumbushwa. Some in Kenya we don't really experience racism that much.
No, it's not in our faces.
Yeah, but out there, manze, waki feel appreciated. Okay, hey, melanin girls, we love you. It definitely feels great. So that's the whole point of the EP. And that's where the love languages come in, We're smooth like that.
Aye. But I remember, I'll be honest, the first time I had Kesho Kutwa. Hey. Sema goosebumps. Sema goosebumps. Like, like that song. I can't sing.
Yeah.
But it does something. It does something. Tempted.
Yeah.
It's like your music is very... It's Loverboy, even Maziwa. Like, the way you break down songs is different. Like, I would like to understand, how long have you been doing this? Because you see me, I'm discovering you now. But when I go back and I'm doing my research, I'm seeing there's old songs and it's not been just recent. So, because you're here now and it's been a long time for us to get here, I'd like to know, who is Ethan Muziki from the beginning to understand who this person is now that we know. So, what's your real name?
So love languages on all platforms.
Oh my God. Your M-Pesa name.
Love language out on all platforms. Go and watch. But so my name is Ethan.
Okay.
I have been doing music for quite a while.
What's your earliest recollection of music?
Let me see. Let me see. I'm tempted to say my Zilema answers are in the womb.
Actually, so let's be real over
But
here.
to
Let's be real.
yeah. For real though, my earliest that should be sometime in primary school. So there's this thing called PPI.
Mm-hmm.
So
PPI ni nini?
so PPI was like a Friday service for every class.
What school did you go to?
Primary. I was in Unity Primary. That's in Umoja.
Okay.
Yeah, Umoja gang.
What's up?
Yeah, what's up? So PPI was kind of like, like just praying and worshiping, but then now you can sing. So I used to lead PPI and everybody is vibing, and I'm so young. I'm like in class 4 or something. So that's pretty much where it started. But my parents used to tell me like I used to just sing from a while back, and I'd just be able to vibe to music.
And do you have
But
siblings?
professionally, yeah.
Really?
Yeah, I have siblings. I'm the firstborn.
So you're the firstborn?
Yeah.
Of
But
how
I have
many?
a sister.
Okay.
Of 3. I have a sister who's now getting into campus, and a brother who is in Form 2 now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Are they as talented as you are? Like, is music something like in the family? How does music, like PPI, yes, but like when you can't be the only one who sings.
I think actually the only one who actually enjoys music as much as I do and sings that much is my mom.
Okay.
Yeah, but my bro is more like into business and academics, and not the arts too much. My sis is more like into hospitality and all those type of things.
Okay.
So to go divided, everybody has their own field, and it's beautiful that way because now tunaweza expand to biashara.
Of course.
Yeah,
So of course PPI unaimba, una lead, unafanya kwenye unafanya uko chuo.
Yeah.
But how do you transition from PPI to writing songs? Do you remember the first song you wrote?
I remember the first song I wrote. Oh, I actually sang it during like one of those parents meetings in primary. I think it was called it was very cheesy, like I don't know, Purumbira or something. I don't know what that means.
What is it about?
But it was just I don't know, it was just vibes.
Okay. And what were you
Just
listening to
vibes.
at that time?
At that time, I've been listening to a lot of rumba, but at that time but it was thanks to my dad. But at that time I wasn't really enjoying it. I wasn't appreciating it.
Okay.
Yeah, because mkienda road trip, mkienda ushago.
Lazima msikize.
Mko tu hapo tuko like hizi mangoma, and then there's like benga. So like a lot of the music that I listened to initially were like music from Zaire at that time, and Luo music, because I'm Luo. But then now on my own, I was actually listening to now people like Talib Kweli.
Yes.
Onwards, Loku Wakanza, the people that I personally enjoyed. But then obviously I also grew up with R&B,
Yes.
So definitely Neo and the likes.
I have a random question for you. I don't know if you know who Tetushani is.
I do.
Tetushani was saying that the next wave would be like rumba trap, because you see, it's that Okelo Max, that vibe, because we all grew up, we had that growing up, but then now you infuse that with trap. You think it's possible? Like, could rumba be made sexy or modern, or I don't know.
I think it's already been made modern and very sexy. By the likes of Okelo Max, as you've mentioned.
There's a song the hot one.
Yeah, he has Nakufa,
Yes.
which is the shorties love this song.
Yeah.
So definitely. But I don't know about waves, because waves are just crazy. They come and go.
That is true.
So I don't think about them too much.
Now, segue, because that was kind of like where I was going with. Yeah. How would you define the music you make? Because me, I'd say it's R&B. It's very love. It's very words of affirmation. It's very much our R&B. But that's me defining it. I'd love for you to define. How would you define the music you make as Ethan?
I actually just call it neo soul, because it's very difficult to put it in like one bracket or in one box, because I experiment a lot, especially being a producer. There are times when you just wake up and you're like, yo, I just want to make reggae.
Yeah.
Maybe I won't release it, but I make it. So it's beautiful to be able to just make music without being in a particular box. But I definitely call it neo soul.
Okay.
Yeah, so because I feel that really encompasses most of everything.
So where I'm at in the story was we were trying to understand, okay, what kind of influences do you have? But what I'm trying to get to now is, what do you do? You go to high school. Where do you go to high school?
Where did I go to high school?
Yeah.
So I was in 2 high schools
Okay.
actually. Aquinas, that's in Nairobi, and then I went to Nyanza to a school. I have to twang this or something. The name is way, but it's called Sawagongo.
Okay.
So that's in Nyanza.
So now,
Yeah.
when you're in school, what do you want to do after you finish school? Because now we know you're an artist, but when you're in school, are you singing, or is your life ball? What is your life books? Do you have what's high school like for you? And then what are you trying to do after high school when you're in high school?
Oh, I like that. Okay, so I've always been singing, like all the way from primary now into high school, but I had never really looked at it as a professional career. You know, I was just like, hey, I can sing, I'm singing, people like it, so, you know. So I feel now, to be honest, I feel like this is a fault of the education system that I went through. Because when I went to Nyanza, it was just academics. Like, you just had to study. Like, we didn't even have music club, we didn't have drama club, was banned. So people who lean towards the arts, mlikuwa mna suffer, you suffered a bit. At least sports was a bit, you know, supported. So what happened is, I had to, in my mind, I wasn't really looking at music as a serious thing, because they weren't making it look like it could be a serious thing. So I started thinking about things like agribusiness management, which is a course that I went to do in campus. But I was still singing. I had a band.
Yes.
And, you know, we kind of were like outlaws in school. You know, you're mentioned in the like parades and all that. Like, hey, there's some guys who are making noise in the dorms, you know, and it's us. We go to girls' schools. You know, there's a math contest, but we go there to sing. So
during the math contest,
exactly, you know, it's crazy, man. But yeah, clearly it was always there. Music was always there, just, you know, calling me.
Okay.
But then, so I decided to do professionally much later. Now that's even after campus.
So, do you write music throughout high school, or now are you? Because there's that Fast song you wrote, but then how do you develop this? Because you're a songwriter, you're a producer, you're an artist. So how do you develop this writing songs? Because your pen game is insane.
Thank you. So there's that song Purumbira, which was just like vibes, but.
Do you remember any other words?
I don't. I think it was mainly. I can't even remember. I don't know.
Okay.
But I remember that there was a chant, a very weird chant, something like Purumbira pumba, purumbira pumba, purumbira pumba, it's just vibes, you know, something like that. Yeah. But people loved it for some reason. But yeah. So I feel like songwriting is a muscle. So the more you write, the more, obviously, you know, the muscle grows and you get better. So in high school, you know, I told you we had like a band, So we had to write songs, because initially we were thinking of, after high school, like looking for a studio and recording music. So all through.
Could you play an instrument?
At that time, I could play the guitar.
Well, or just
but no well,
okay.
Yeah, just, you know, cause now you
kuchocha madem
ile tu yako tu code moja. Man, but I wasn't that good.
Okay. So how do you so now how do you start learning to do all these things?
So my school father in high school had a guitar. So he's actually the one who started teaching me. So interestingly, he found a way. I don't know how
he saw talent in you. Like, how did he why would he figure you? Like, why you?
Because I was singing, you know. So already he was like, hey, because he can play and I can sing, we can do things together. And then, you know, the more you chill together, you start taking things from him. Yeah. So somehow he had found a way of sneaking in a whole guitar into the school. This school that doesn't care about arts.
Yeah.
I don't even know.
Kuna drama, kuna nothing.
I don't know how he did it, but he did it. So he started teaching me. And then now when I went home, luckily my parents really support my music and you know, and all that. So when I went home, I told them, hey, nimeanza kufunzwa guitar. And on my birthday that year, I think that has to be like 2013 or something, yeah. My birthday that year, my mom bought me a guitar. So I had a guitar. I couldn't play very well, but you know when you have one, ni hivyo tu sasa. So yeah, I took up the guitar, and then later on, now in campus, I took up the keys, and then bass, and then flute, and then drums, and then just, you know, continues growing. And then now I decided, if I can play all this, I can produce.
Of course.
Yeah.
Because you were talking about the point where you were in a group and you guys were trying to figure out, okay, after school, how will we record?
Yeah.
How will we go to a studio? So now you have to, because now that's how you get to that point, because, okay, you want to make music, but how do you...
Yeah. Like, how do you paste what's on your
How do you apply? The idea is there. How do you apply?
So it was because actually we did look for this band of ours was called Alpha Sounds. Just vibes. So we actually did look for a studio. So one of my friends called Noel, we're still very tight friends to date. His brother was a producer.
Okay.
So Noel was telling us, hey man, after high school, my bro can make a track for us, and So we went to Noel's place.
Is this your first ever studio session in life?
Ever.
Okay.
Ever. Yeah, so we go to Noel's place, and it wasn't really a studio. He just had a laptop.
That's a studio, bro. All you need is a mix. All you need is a mixer and a laptop these days, and a nice mic.
And you're done, So, but now for him, he only had the laptop, so there wasn't a mic, there wasn't shit. So we were just making the beats fast, But it was. Manzi, I was excited.
Because now you're seeing how it's
process,
done.
And he was
cooking.
actually really good. He was really good. And I'm just looking at him like, wow, this is what I want to do.
Okay.
So he also started teaching me a few things, and then I got my own.
I'd love to know about the first time you went to the studio to make a song, and then like hearing the song, like where you actually got to lay vocals. Like, do you remember the time?
Yeah, I remember. Now that was later. Now that was after Alpha Sounds was disbanded. So there's a competition. So we went for a certain competition. It's called the Star. I was still in campus. And then the winner was getting a record deal, which was an audio and a video.
Okay.
So I'm excited, definitely. I go for the competition, I sing. And then...
And do you know you're a good singer at this point? You go because you know you're good, or are you going because you're a teacher?
At that time, no, I actually started knowing I could sing, But I wasn't very confident yet, with my guitar playing. So I go, we sing, vibes. I perform. I'm mainly a performer more than even all these other things. So, and then I won. So we go to the studio. So this was actually a whole setup. He had a vocal booth here. So I get into the vocal booth and my heart is racing because this is completely new. Like performing, I don't know, it just feels very different because it's very quiet.
Yeah.
We lay down vocals, I'm singing, I'm just learning things as I go, but it was beautiful. So initially, the song was ready. And now we're planning to shoot a music video. Everything is set, and then that's when I get signed. So when I get signed, initially I was a solo artist, but now the label creates a band. So now we're 3 guys. So when I share this song with the label, they're like, it's a good song, but now you'll have to do it with the other guys. So that whole record deal that I had, the first one,
the video audio deal,
went down.
What was the name of the competition?
The Star.
Who was doing the competition?
What's this guy called? I can't even remember. I only remember the producer.
Okay.
But I can't.
So the song, did you ever hear the song that you guys made?
Yeah, I still have it.
Okay.
I actually do have it, but
do you like it now? How long ago was this?
It's like maybe 5-6 years ago.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the group that you ended up joining ended up being what we were talking about earlier?
Yeah, Jadi.
Jadi, which is now signed to Kaka Empire.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah. So when we got signed, actually, there was a probation period before releasing any music. I think like possibly, if I'm not wrong, 1 or 2 years, 1.5 or 2 years of just creating music and bonding. No one knows you. You're not even performing.
Yeah.
They even told us not to perform. So it was just the first years weren't that good.
Okay.
But at least we got to bond. Because when you form a new band, you need to have that chemistry.
That is true.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to understand in the journey of Ethan, we have Ethan who goes to school and is making music in school a bit. Then Ethan goes to university. You're doing your talent thing. You're singing where you can. You've learned how to produce a bit, but not record a bit.
Yeah.
But then there's also Alpha Sounds. Alpha Sounds happens. You're in that's the first group. Then the next group happens.
Yeah.
How do we now end up? Okay, the groups is not for me now. I'm Ethan Muziki, Hello World.
So Jadi was formed while I was still in campus, like towards the end of campus, my campus years, that is. And it was hectic, like just managing to balance school and Jadi was hectic. So I even deferred for a while for going back, because now, I was signed and I was needed in Nairobi very, very, very often. So I was like, hey, masomo actually hata juu course hata I just took a course that I didn't even give a shit about. Let me kwanza set that aside. So we started working with Jadi, nini, we're vibing. But then it's kind of like creative direction problems started coming in. So I felt, okay, where I want to take my career would be better if I try this on my own, So I brought up a conversation. It was very emotional. It was very, very emotional.
Because of 2 years of bonding is not easy.
Yeah, But they understood. They understood. We're still friends to date. They really did understand, because I'd set aside everything for music.
Yeah, school, everything.
But they were still in school. They still had other things going on. So I just felt, okay, let me just focus, on my own. It might be easier. It's not easier, but it feels good.
Okay,
it feels good. So yeah.
So did you finish school?
Now to that. So what happened is, when I deferred, I was like, So I said, I'm getting into the music industry now. I'm loving. This is actually what I should be doing.
Not this school thing.
Not this school thing. What is this? So I decided, let me actually just defer the course for even longer, and then just go and do a course that I would enjoy. So I joined a different school, EDMI, and then I took a completely different course, but a short one, and then that's been it. So initially I was, when I was deferring, my mind was like, I'm actually only deferring so that I can, in case this thing doesn't go well, I can still go back.
A backup plan, like a fallback.
Yeah, like a fallback.
But if you really focus on this, you don't need a fallback.
Exactly. So right now, once things started happening and moving, I realized, what,
bruh, you're fucking Ethan Muziki. You're not where you're at by mistake. Like, you have a huge fan base. People love your music. You're an amazing producer. You're an amazing performer. There's so much. It's not by mistake that you're where you are. I'm sure of that.
Yeah. I appreciate that.
So I'm being asked here not to let you leave before you play Kesho Kutwa. Wamesema lazima ucheze kocho. So let's is there a guitar here?
Yes.
Is Ethan Muziki in the building?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So I think let's play something.
All right.
Guys, we're live in studio with Ethan Muziki. Thank you so much for listening to Radio 254. Ethan says he's a performer before everything else. He said that, Sio Mimi. So let's see what he has. Let's go.
All right. Kwangu kujua na kukua ni lengo la kila kukishatua, hivyo hata ukinizungusha sioni shida, utanifundisha. Wakaribu natambua, saa zingine maneno unisumbua, wayanikata, wayanihada, lakini we onani na pandege ushanifanya, ukipandisha be unajua nitafika na nitapita, we onani na pandege ushanifanya, ukipandisha be unajua nitafika, hata kesho kutwa tutapendana na usiku kucha tutapendana, na hata kesho kutwa tutapendana na usiku kucha. Yeah. Oh, wewe unanijua, gizani umenitoa, sikudhani ningetoboa. Ni mara ngapi nilikwama, ni mara ngapi umechagua niwe nawe, na siwezi ngoja kwenda kwenye goti nikuvishe pete dunia inotice. Vile ninapaa ndege ushanifanya, ukipandisha bei unajua nitafika na nitapita, yeah. Lakini we ona ninapaa ndege ushanifanya, ukipandisha bei unajua nitafika. Hata kesho kutwa tutapendana na usiku kucha tutapendana, na hata kesho kutwa tutapendana na usiku kucha tutapendana. Oh, oh, oh. Oh my baby, I promise to love you. You inspire me. You, oh yes, oh yes, oh yes. We've given love a chance. Niwe nawe, nawe. Oh, sometimes we fall in love. Oh, love is always in us, because sometimes we fall in love. Love is always in us. Hata kesho kutwa, oh, na usiku kucha tutapendana.